Welcome back to ReZero Anime Review, episode number 50. Still reviewing the light novels, and yes, I do know season 3 is coming. I think it's rumored to come out next year, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I believe so. Yeah, they announced the third season of this thing just fairly recently, which I'm so happy with that. So was Brie Knickerbocker, surprisingly. Yeah, she was very happy to hear we're getting season 3. Possible date, don't know yet. That's the thing. It's not been confirmed yet exactly when season 3 will air, but at least I'm glad it's coming. Yep. Excuse me. Okay. So now we're discussing book 22 of ReZero. Came out fairly recently. Now, Sheila, that's the one we have in the cover. Yeah, and they do kind of explain a little bit the place they're in. This tower, the Sage's Tower. It's called its full name is the Philafes Star Library, and she basically Sarah is a bit of an airhead, where apparently like she keeps calling Subaru master the whole story. Yep, I like the fact also that Emilia gets something to do, which Emilia has something weird happen to her in the book, where this brand new character named Red Astra uses chopsticks to play with Emilia's breast, and of course Subaru gets upset with him over that. It's like, oh, you do something inappropriate, and Subaru's like, yeah, that is inappropriate, and I agree with him. That's very inappropriate. He's touching the girl. He's touching his girl. He's basically very protective of Emilia, and of course, bringing the fact that, of course, they still bring the fact that Subaru at least got praise the fact he's a little more decent person the whole story. Also, in the story, he's not wearing his tracksuit anymore. Nope. He is wearing this very attire. And they're also here with Anastasia, Beatrice, Julius, and of course Emilia's here too. Emilia, they go to examine the book, and Emilia's only passed so far. And then there's a weird thing with Anastasia in here, where at one point in the book, she gets possessed by Echidna, the Witch of Greed, which Subaru has not seen, or at least heard her voice, since book 15 of the series. I'm surprised she showed up here in this book. Yes. Now, is there new bishops per se? No. But they did mention something, we might be dealing with the Witch of Wrath soon. Yes. Yeah, and also, like, so Reed Asher might be an ancestor of course they don't bring it up in here for some reason, like Astra, of course. Wait, I know your descendants. One's name is Reinhardt. Yeah, by the way, Julius, just for those Julius whole story. Later on, here's the thing. Only Subaru remembers his real name, his actual last name, because the reason why, because the Bishop of Gluttony ate his name. Well, part of his name anyway. So, and the thing is, like in the case of Rim, Subaru is the one who basically remembers this. It's all something interesting, though, related to how Subaru got here. Yes. But this story, it felt like, though, this one we had lots of going on over the course of 232 pages. We have like several different events going on here. Beatrice gets a chance to hang out with Subaru a lot more in the story. Subaru is actually a lot more nicer, and he is a big focal point in this book. Also, unlike the previous book, there's no dying for him. He doesn't die and come back. I'm like, okay, you let that all in the first book? Okay. Which I'm like, wow. That's just like the start of that's like the previous arc, where like any kind of death he had only happened in the opening book, and nothing else the rest of the arc. And this one, I'm kind of surprised by it. Yes. Now, have I read the book before? No, I just finished reading it today. The book is really good, but no denying the fact that anybody sees this cover like, man, I can't stop staring at this woman basically because she's so hot. Because she is. Yeah. Who his previous master is. It's not Reinhardt. It's not Reed per se. I think it's somebody else. Someone else who basically abandoned the tower. Now, why she goes Subaru? Master, probably because basically she's wearing his colors. Probably. Yeah, and she's very, very clingy to him the whole story a lot of the time. Yes. Whereas, of course, he's like, "Can I have my arm back, please?" He's like that a lot of the time because she's so clingy to him. And I love the fact also, of course, you get a chance to see Super have Beatrice in his lap in the story. That happened once. He gets a chance to have her in his arms. Of course, Ram, of course, basically, not Ram, Ram, of course, Ram is still basically unconscious. Surprisingly, Ram is not in the story. She's in the previous story. She actually travels with them to this tower. But surprisingly, she's not in this story. Do you know who else not in this story? Petra. Yeah, she's not here either for some reason. It's kind of like the way it was the previous arc, where she's in the opening book, but she's not in the rest of the story arc. It looks like this one's kind of the same thing too. So it's like the only people go in the tower, go into this tower are just Anastasia, Emilia, Subaru, and I think Ram goes in here too. And of course, actually Julius. Yeah, and that's it. Of course, basically all the regular characters. I do appreciate though that this arc so far feels like basically what we expect next for the series. Similar to what we have for basically from the opening arc of the series up until the arc we had at the end of season 2. But here's the thing. The thing with the previous arc was, and this arc is a continuation of it, it's basically it had a 1 year time skip. Basically, it's 1 year later, and Roswell, of course, is mentioned in the story, but he does not make a physical appearance. It's kind of like the way it was in the last arc too, where Roswell at the beginning, and then basically he's absent for the whole entire story arc. And if you're curious, was it like this during the first season of the show? I think he was mostly there for the second arc and a little bit of the third arc, but that was pretty much it. But this book is still pretty good. We'll give the book roughly 9 out of 10. It's a good story. Nothing really followed except the fact that Reed basically had to touch Emilia's chest, which I'm agreeing with Subaru. That's not a good idea to do. And apparently for Emilia, and of course, they also talk about ages here too, where Emilia basically has complimented the fact that she's younger than she looks. Because here's the thing, Emilia is 115 years old, and yet Subaru is in love with her. And Sarah was like, "Yeah, I have no problem with that." Yeah, I love the fact they don't mention the fact that if any kind of progression or relationship between Subaru and Emilia, but he is basically her first knight. Yep, he basically overreacts. He did. It's almost like basically the similar stuff he did kind of during the first couple books of the previous arc, but it's like it's there for one section and basically moves on something else, which that's good for him to do. Yep. But yeah, that's particularly a particular view. Next up is going to be a comic corner, and then we'll get some gas because I need some gas for this weekend. Okay, thanks you. Bye.